Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Speak On It. It's your boy Bev, Tim One, and Dom, all in the building. And we got an interesting show tonight.
Oh, let's get it going.
So we're gonna get right into it. My man Pat Bev, working on his second career already. Mhm. Not saying saying that his playing career is nearing its end or anything like that, but he did showcase uh, his ability to stir the pot.
That's what you want to
His,
call it?
his ability to make headlines.
Is that what you call it? Stir
His
the pot?
ability to create content. What did you call it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What would you call it? What
Okay.
would you call it? What would you call it?
Him speaking his truth.
Okay, same difference. Same difference. Same difference. Because all I'm saying is he was. You're right. He wasn't PC. He wasn't PC
At all.
Now, speaking of that, there was a lot of current and former NBA players saying that he crossed the line. What do y'all think? Y'all think he crossed the line and got out of pocket? Not saying that what he said wasn't true, but did he cross the line in what he said?
I think he was speaking his own truth. And there may be a group of guys that feel the same way that he feels, but they're not going to come out and say it. I mean, at the same time, you're on television, and when you're talking like that, you got to be more objective than subjective. And I think that's the only part that I would say that he kind of, I guess, went wrong, because he may have some feelings towards Chris Paul to say what he said. But I mean, I think he just should have been more objective than subjective when it came to analyzing the game.
I would say I'm gonna touch on what you just said. I disagree with him being objective and subjective, because what you said is he's speaking his truth. Like a lot of times, they want to put you in a box, right? Because I'm on TV or because we got this platform. Yeah, I mean, we can't say certain things. He was being real, right? So he was being real about his view on how things are with Chris Paul. And I think y'all know, I said it earlier, this before when they were playing the Pelicans. I felt like Chris Paul was. I think Chris Paul is a great. Yeah, I mean, but I don't think Chris Paul is as great right now. You know what I mean, as people make him out to be.
Is he a cone?
Huh?
Is he a cone though?
Is he a cone? I think against certain people he's a cone. For sure. Like I think Chris Paul's a great defensive player. Like if we take the greatest defensive players in the NBA right now, and we put them up against other great NBA players, they're not going to be like all defensive. They become all defensive players when they're going up against lower level offensive players. You know what I mean? Like Chris Paul becomes a cone when he's trying to check Luka, or when he's trying to check, Steph Curry. Like that's when they become cones, right? But when they're going up against lower level talent, they can strap up. So I don't think Pat Bev was being objective or subjective. I think he was one. I pull up the drawing right now. They got history.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I get that he was speaking his truth, right? And I totally understand that, and that's him 100%. I'm just saying where the outrage is going to come from is the fact that he was being subjective, because, like you said, they have a history versus being objective. Like he could have kept the cone comment to himself. You know what I mean?
No, he couldn't have. No, he couldn't have.
That's him though.
He couldn't have.
Yeah, he couldn't have, because listen, if we
he was passionate about it, and it was from a different area.
Yeah, but see, like you said, they have a history or whatever. Mm-hmm. It seems to me that Pat Bev more so has a history with Chris Paul. I don't think Pat Bev's on Chris Paul's radar. I think he's an afterthought. Like there's levels to this. Just being real. Whereas Pat Bev, he has that ultimate chip on his shoulder. So he's gonna have a history with everybody that crosses his path. That's just the way he carries. He's a miniature Draymond. He just has a chip on his shoulder that I need to prove something to everybody. I'm gonna chirp at you. I'm gonna get under your skin, but I'm gonna keep it 100 about you, regardless of how anybody else feel about what I said. You know, where I thought it was interesting was like he brought up something that happened when I guess he was in college or high school at a LeBron camp or something, and he cooked Chris Paul. Like again, bro, like he got a different chip. He got a different chip on his shoulder than most people. So I just felt as though he's a guy that unfortunately his talent level never was at the same level to be elite. But he's scrappy, he works hard, and he found his niche, and he's doing it. And I don't think people is going to respect what he says because it's him.
And I think he rubs a lot of people just because of the way he plays. Mm-hmm. He rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
I like the way he plays, though. I love the way he plays.
Listen, I think when you're
if he on your team, he cool. But if you're playing against him, you don't want no parts of it.
But again, like that's who he is, which is why when you say he should be objective, like that wouldn't be him.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But you could do a podcast for that. Like we on ESPN.
Yeah, that's when you do it.
Don't invite him back. Like
that's when you do it. You do it on ESPN, and then you start the podcast.
Smart.
You do it on ESPN first. And then you start the podcast.
He wasn't having none of the smoke they was talking about. Like it wasn't just him coming at Chris Paul, and I do want to get back to him talking about Chris Paul, but like I said, he was coming at Molly questions. He was like, why are you mentioning these guys? Like, these guys get no play in the locker room. So like it was like he was coming at everybody. And that's just the way he is. So again, when he brought up Chris Paul, I guess that was that's a touchy topic because him and Chris Paul do got history. But he was coming at everybody. Like it wasn't just Chris Paul. It was like they mentioned something about Pat Connaughton. He was like Pat Connaughton. Like, why are you bringing up these guys?
The Chris Paul comments was the ones that gained the most.
because that's who he talked. Because Chris Paul's a star.
Yeah.
I mean, if Pat Connaughton was a star, then Pat Connaughton we'd be talking about Pat Connaughton too. I mean, but because Chris Paul's a star, and they were trying to figure out what was wrong with Chris Paul, and Pat Bev was just saying like he's not like that. Again, I told y'all in the New Orleans series, I just didn't know if the Suns had two stars.
Okay, now I get what you're saying. Right, I get what you're saying, but that's not how Pat Bev was coming off. He wasn't coming off on some old Chris Paul has fallen off type stuff. He was coming off on some I respect his game and everything and what he's accomplished, but he's not what y'all think he is. That's how it came off to me. Like,
and that's
he's not who y'all think he is, and I don't see why he was like getting away with all of these stuff all of these years. Like, it was more than Chris Paul has fallen off.
Yeah, and that's the beef, and that's the beef between them two. But I also believe,
again, I don't think it's a beef between them two.
Well, that's the beef I
still haven't heard Chris Paul say anything.
It's one-sided. It's one-sided.
That's the beef he has with Chris Paul. But again, listen, he was talking facts because when we're talking about like he said, Chris Paul is the president of the National Basketball, the Players Association. So he is gonna get calls because he's like there's David Stern. I mean, well, not David Stern, but
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver, right? Adam Silver, and Chris Paul is the head of the other side, right? So he gonna get calls just for being who he is on that side. Yeah, I mean, or non-calls.
Okay, but does he get calls just for him being who he is from his track record?
I think Chris Paul. Oh, who? Chris Paul?
Chris Paul.
I think Chris Paul gets 9 calls. Like Chris Paul will get away, and I think Stars does as well. But I do think Chris Paul gets away with more stuff, like that little swipe through thing. Chris Paul, that James. A lot of people say James Harden started that. No, Chris Paul started that little swipe through thing, like that little running down when you run down the court and then you just stop, and the player running back at you. Like, bro, I'm just trying to go defend.
That's IQ.
And no, that's being the head of the basketball. So
that's not, in my opinion, that's an offensive foul. I've always said that. That's an offensive.
You just run down the court.
But they don't just stop. They stop. They poke their butt out. They stick their hip out. Like to me, that's an offensive.
He started those things, and I think a lot of that. And not saying that Chris Paul is not great because he was. I mean, I love him. I love Chris Paul. He's one of the all-time greats. He is a top 3-point guard, regardless of what Pat Bev says. He's a top 3-point guard.
Top 3? Ooh.
I think Chris Paul's a top 3-point guard. Dang, I guess something else we could talk about.
Ooh.
But
fast.
He does.
No. We got to talk about that right now, bro.
Oh, hold on, wait, no.
Somebody's missing. Somebody is missing.
Hold on, wait. Okay, we can talk about it. Listen, y'all know my top 2 going.
So it's Magic, and then Steph, or is it Steph and then Magic? Because I know Steph's got to be in there.
Well, you know, it's gonna be them too. You know what I mean? I don't care where you put them. I don't care where you put them. You know what I mean? First, Steph first, Magic first. You know what I mean? It don't really matter to me. I think when it's all said and done, Steph probably will be first. You know what I mean? But
okay, we can talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But you put CP over Zeke as well, huh? Okay, interesting. Okay, continue.
I think it's longevity. It's a longevity thing.
I feel you. Continue.
But listen, for me, my list, not speak on the list. I think Chris Paul is a top 3-point guard. But again, if you put certain people above him, I'm not arguing. Certain people, not like how Pat Bev was talking, like he's not a top 5 or a top 10 player all the time. But I do think he's great. But I do think that he does get calls, and maybe it is because he is the head of the Players Association.
But he hasn't. He didn't walk into the league as that.
But he didn't get those calls just coming into the league either.
He started getting those calls. He was getting those calls in New Orleans because that's really where he started doing those things.
He's a superstar, right? He's a superstar, so you go get superstar calls. But those calls where you just run down the court, stop, run behind you, he getting that call. That swipe through thing, he was getting that call. Like he does little nagging things that, and this is what I'll say, which Pat Bev probably does as well, little nagging things. But Pat Bev get called for him, and Chris Paul, he don't.
And that's his great. That's his great.
That's his levels to this.
It is.
Let me ask y'all this: was his comment from a personal place? Yes or no?
I think absolutely.
I think 50-50.
I think so.
I'm not gonna say 50-50. I'm gonna say 90-10. 90-10. There's no way. There's no like you can say Chris Paul isn't the defender that he used to be, but you're not gonna say bro a cone, man.
Well, listen, maybe he's talking about now. He a cone.
Come on, he's still not a cone now.
He a cone, man. Listen,
he's not a cone. Come on, man. Come on, a cone. A cone don't even give effort. A cone don't even give effort.
I don't think Chris Paul's a cone, but I think Chris Paul old, man. Like he old.
He is old. Again.
In basketball years, that's not.
But a cone now.
No, it's not. 37, not old regular people years. He's old NBA years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, 37 is your prime regular people years.
Talking about old and prime, man, that's perfect, man. Old and prime, old Nick Saban. Talking about prime and talking about Jimbo Fisher. Now, first of all, let me just say this before we even get into this. I found it hilarious. I did. I found it absolutely hilarious that of all the people in the college football world to say something would be Nick Saban. Like the rumors have been floating for years that your program has been a pay for play.
Allegedly,
it's been rumored for years. You kept getting number one recruiting classes year after year after year after year after year, and there's nothing that extravagant about Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Let's just be honest about it. All right, and at this point, you can go to the NFL pretty much anywhere in college, right? Anywhere in the country you can go. So there was people have always said it. So for him, and then it was the timing. The first one. This is like what the first time in like close to a decade that he hasn't had the number one recruiting class, and you throwing a temper tantrum, brother?
No, Georgia has.
What?
In the past few years.
Georgia had
Georgia. Okay, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm just saying, bro. Like, bro, like, chill out, Nick. It's not that serious. You were just in the national championship game.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably gonna be there again next year and the year after. The NIL, I don't think it's affecting you because this probably what you've been doing the entire time anyway. You just mad at everybody else and they can outbid you.
I think he sees the writing on the wall because I think he knows the NIL is about to affect him. I heard somebody say this, right? They said that those Texas pipelines, he's going to lose some of those Texas pipelines. Why? Because now Texas, if I can pay players, what is going to stop a Texas player from staying home as opposed to going to Bama, right? If I can pay you to stay in Texas, I'm going to stay in Texas. I'm going to stay and go to Texas. I'm going to stay and go to Texas Tech. I'm going to stay and go to Texas A&M. I mean, so if like what you said it in the beginning of your argument. What's special about Tuscaloosa, Alabama outside of Nick Saban being there, right? Like
they have a rich football history.
They do have a rich football history.
That ain't got nothing to do with the campus atmosphere.
It don't.
That has nothing to do with the outside of campus. What can I do?
Texas ain't got a rich football history.
It does. I guess.
Oklahoma got a rich football history.
USC.
USC.
What is his name? What's the old coach for Alabama that was there for like
Bear Bryant?
Bear Bryant.
Yeah, there it is.
But that was in the 60s, and that was like that.
I mean, you try to sell that mystique.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but
I get what you're saying though.
There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, except for Saturdays in the fall.
Sorry, all my Tuscaloosa people. I'm sorry. Listen, we just speak of our truth. I mean, we don't know.
No. There's no need to apologize. I'm from Sussex County, Delaware. That's nothing to do in Sussex County, Delaware. Like I understand it. So I can understand that outside of Saturdays in the fall, Tuscaloosa, Alabama is probably dry. If especially, let's bring it full circle for young African American men. Like I don't see there's not an attraction to Tuscaloosa, Alabama outside of football. So if there is other opportunities in other places, and now I can get paid at those places just as much as I possibly could have gotten paid here, and it still can get me to playing football on Sundays. Sorry, Nick. Your selling point just ain't that great no more.
Listen, I said it.
Did he have to throw Jimbo Fisher under the bus though?
Well, and again, I think when we talk about something being personal, I thought that was super personal because again,
he felt
like
Georgia,
I think Georgia had the #1 recruiting class like 2 years ago, I think, or last year.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
He ain't say nothing about Georgia. He ain't say nothing about Georgia.
That's from his coaching tree.
But so is
Jimbo.
Like I said,
Jimbo. Okay. Is he?
Yeah, Jimbo from his coaching tree.
They coached together. But that was the thing. The thing was, why did you choose people you have relationships with? You doing the Aflac commercials with Prime. You coach with Jim. Like, why'd you choose? It was personal. He was losing. He lost recruits to Jackson State, and Texas A&M just beat it. So I'm gonna throw a little dirt on them too, just to try to keep some recruits away from them. And I Jackson State is the entire HBCU right now.
Yep.
Jackson State and Prime is the face of HBCU football. So if I throw dirt on them, I'm throwing dirt on the entire HBCU.
Can I say this? Nobody asked him. Nobody asked him.
He wanted to get that off his chest, man.
And that's how you know it's personal.
It was burning. But
him though, like you though.
Yeah, it's to Dom's point. He sees the writing on the wall, and he sees that it's about to crumble.
No. The writing has already been on the wall. The writing was on the wall.
This season proved it. Texas A&M was 8-4, and they had the top recruiting class. He was like, "Nah, man, this is good. It stops here, man."
I just
first Deion, now Jimbo. Nah, man.
I think those pipelines that he had to Texas, to California, I think he's gonna lose those pipelines because again, if I can pay a top wide receiver to stay home or a top offensive lineman to stay home in Texas or in Cali, if I can pay them to stay home, that's going to even the playing field. Now he doesn't have all those people coming from California or Jersey or Texas. Like, I think he sees that, and now I think Colin Cowherd said it. He said, this was Nick's plea to donors to say, I need more money because I cannot compete with Texas or California because Tuscaloosa, Alabama, does not have the money Texas has. They don't have the money Cali has. They don't have the money PA has.
Said, I need help. Help me.
The writing has been on the wall for a while with Alabama. When people just, because the rest of the SEC wasn't catching up, we kind of just moved them to the side. But Alabama has not been the complete dominant team in bowl games that it was at one point. Like, nobody, I don't think outside of really the lower echelon teams and major conferences, I don't think anybody fears them. I don't think Ohio State fears them. I don't think I ain't gonna say no team from the Pac-12 because they be trash. But I don't think even though Oklahoma struggles for the most part, I still don't think they fear Alabama no more. We know Clemson don't fear them. No matter what they're going through, they're not gonna fear them. And then Georgia has proven time and time again, they're beatable. And when I think that mystique left, the recruiting started to go with it. And then the NIL is just like, all right, man, if we already was losing recruits before this,
we need to figure something out.
We gotta figure something out because we can't be losing recruits now. Not now.
You said something interesting to me, right? When you said you don't know if anybody in the Pac-12. I do think almost everybody's gonna catch up. Because when I was thinking about when you said Pac-12, Oregon, first name popped in my mind. They got Nike right there. That's That's an attraction. And now I can get paid, so I can get paid and brand myself in the city where Nike is. So why wouldn't that draw people to? Because people was already going to Oregon. You know what I mean? People was already going to Oregon. Top recruits were going to Oregon since the Chip Kelly days. But now I can get paid to go to Oregon, brand myself. If you are an NFL player or an NFL player, the biggest brand in sports is Nike outside of Jordan, but it's Nike. And I can go get paid and get endorsements for the biggest brand in sports.
Makes business sense.
Why not?
I think, bro. I got a tablet pulled up. I'm trying to find things to do in Tuscaloosa. I'm trying to find things to do.
All right, let's stay in college football. I think the Pac-12 was the first conference to do it. After the NCAA announced something about divisions, and so Pac-12 no more divisions. They will do a round robin for scheduling, and the two teams with the highest winning percentages will play for the Pac-12 championship. So, do you think other conferences will follow suit? So that way you may get a Michigan, Ohio State Big Ten championship, a Penn State, Ohio State Big Ten championship, with the two best teams in the conference meet for the conference championship, regardless of what we used to think of as divisions. How y'all feel about that?
If it makes money, it makes sense.
I get it. I do get it from, like Tomas said, I do get it from a money aspect. But I also think it's a copycat league, so I do think that it will happen. So yes, to answer your question, I do think it will happen. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I legit think it's the way that it actually should have been, because we would have gotten more classic. I believe we would have gotten more classic games. You know what I mean? If Ohio State played the Penn State or Ohio State played the Michigan, like, I think we would have got more classic games if it was already set up that way.
Now, one of the things the Pac-12 was saying was that it could help them potentially with getting into the college football playoff, where now you have maybe Utah and USC, who used to be, both of them were in the South, have the two highest winning percentages, and this could be a year where the North is down, where Stanford, Oregon, all of them barely 500, but one of them is going to win the division and play for the conference championship. And then we know how the Pac-12 championship usually goes. Something dumb happens, and now they don't have a chance to go play for the college football playoff. So I understand it. I understand it from that perspective. The only thing that I'm kind of torn about is rematches. You know, where everybody plays everybody anyway, and then of course, you know, in certain conferences everybody can't play everybody. Of course, the Pac, I think the Big 10 or Big 12 or somebody, they can. But and then like the SEC, I think they have 16 teams, so everybody can't play everybody. But you get the potential for rematches where maybe the teams wasn't really that good anyway, and now we're gonna get a rematch, a boring rematch. So I don't know. I really don't. I'm kind of torn.
That's the thing.
Kind of torn.
I mean, because like you said, you could it gives them a better chance, because one thing about the Pac-12 that I've always seen is like they beat each other up. It's like you'll see a good team be 8-0, and then they slip and lose to like Arizona or something, and they could win the championship, but then it's like they lost to this Arizona team, so and we got these two other one-loss teams. I think that for the most part, it'll be better for ratings with the championship games because people would watch rematches. I mean, you know what I mean? People tune in to Alabama, Georgia again, you know what I mean, for the national championship. So I don't think rematches will be a problem when we're talking about the top two.
I don't think so either. But I do like the fact of the divisions, and it's because again it takes certain things out of the committee's hands. Yeah, I mean, like I think I think that this is going to be a prelude to something bigger because I think that they're actually going to expand the college playoffs. But I do like it because again it takes some certain aspects out of the committee's hands. But as far as the rematches, I'm with Taman. I like rematches.
I'm not a fan of rematches.
I like them. You know what I mean?
Not all the time.
Maybe not all the time. But listen, let me ask you this question, right? Let's say Penn State, Ohio State, right?
No,
Penn State
Michigan.
or Ohio State beat Penn State,
Michigan,
and swallow them,
why
and then they get that rematch, and then Penn State win. Like, it's something
why we keep saying Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Michigan, go.
Man, it's a hypothetical scenario.
Penn State, Michigan. I'm sorry. All right, so Penn State, right? We beat Michigan the first time.
Wow.
Then we get that rematch, and then we throttle them the next time.
Wow.
Like,
yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I don't want to see rematches.
No, that's
like,
not exactly.
I feel like the point was already proven. Like, I feel like the point has already been proven. Like, I don't see the need. I don't see the need for a rematch, especially after we didn't already, don't you?
But do you think that's our traditional thinking? Because let's say it's early in the season, right? It's early in the season. I thumped you early in the season. We play a little later on, and now I'm healthier. Now I got my identity, and now it's a better game, right? When we go back last year, Bama thumped Georgia that first game. Georgia adjusted. Something happened. I mean, Jameson Williams went down.
So think about it like this. So you'll possibly get an Alabama Georgia game in the regular season, right? And then they play in the SEC championship.
Well, they'll probably for sure play in the SEC championship. Maybe they won't probably play regular season, but probably for sure they'll probably play in the SEC championship.
Just saying if they played in the regular season
okay,
and then they end up being the top two and they play in the championship, right? Now you have avoided having two SEC teams in the college playoff to where you have a representation of at least 4 of the 5 rather than 3 of the 5.
I hear in theory.
Yeah, Taman, if Georgia's only losses are to Alabama, they're getting in the college.
I was going to say, let's say, right?
Even with a 12-1 USC team?
They're getting in the college football playoff, bro.
Because that's why I said it takes some of.
That's why I don't want to see. That's why I don't want to see rematches. I don't want to see Georgia and Alabama play 3 times in a season.
3 times. I'm with you. 3 times.
I get that. I get that.
Like, well, 3 times. Listen, it might be a series.
And that's why I'm an advocate. If we're gonna do away with the divisions, and we're gonna have a true round robin where they're playing majority of the conference.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best team just won the conference, man.
Yeah.
And let's just move on.
Yeah.
Like let's just move on.
But then we got to play more. We would have to play more games because now we're talking about taking conference game. Are we talking about taking conference play out?
What, that one conference championship game that only 2 teams from the whole conference get to play in anyway?
What I'm saying is because if you say that the best team,
and they're also doing this to help conferences that don't have divisions. Now they can have conference championship game.
Okay.
Kind of like how The Big 12 was this year, where they had a conference championship game, even though they don't have divisions. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to have it so where everybody can have a conference championship game. I'm not a big fan. I've never been a big fan of conference championship games in college football. I've always thought that you proved your point throughout the year who was the best team, and I've always felt like that kind of hurt a lot of teams' chances to win a national championship, teams to go to certain bowls, because you slipped up that one time, even though you've been great throughout the entire season.
In theory, would that be the case with college basketball too?
Oh, I think conference tournaments in college basketball are ridiculous.
That's because March Madness, though.
No. Exactly. That's stupid. You mean to tell me I've kicked everybody's behind from January to March in my conference? I go undefeated as a mid-major, and then I go and I lose on a buzzer beater in the conference championship, and then I can't go dancing in March?
Nah, that's stupid.
That's stupid. That is very stupid. So but that happens a lot. I've seen times where Dell State has ran through the MEAC.
That's a fact.
Ran through the MEAC and lost in the semifinals. They're the regular season conference champion, but they're not the tournament conference champion. So guess what? You can't go dancing because you slipped up one game, even though you didn't smack everybody during the regular season. I just feel like yes, it's a prelude to the dance, and it gets everybody's juices flowing. But I do not believe that that's where you should earn your automatic bid. I feel like you earned your automatic bid during the regular season. If everybody else can earn their at-large bids, then why can't I earn my automatic bid?
See, I agree with you that the conference championship shouldn't make it to where that's my automatic bid. But I do believe that, say, somebody who might not have been, thought about to be in go dancing, if I win my championship, I should at least be a thought now.
Nah, bro. You had 3 months to prove your case. You can't. How'd you prove your case in a week? You had 3 months to prove your case.
That's why they call it March Madness, man.
Like I said, because we know about.
That's ridiculous. Dude, that's ridiculous. You can be cheeks. You can be cheeks for. You don't have to win no games. Then you can go defeated.
Nah, bro.
You defeated.
You can go defeated. You can go 0-30 and then run off 5 in a row for the conference tournament and go dancing.
But that gotta make sense though. Like
no, bro, that don't have to make sense. That is legit. But that's legit. That's legit. What can happen? That's legit. What can happen? So that means
that don't make sense. That's not making sense to me.
You're absolutely right. That don't make
madness.
Sense. But that's legit. What can happen?
It's madness. That's why
you can lose. You can. All you have to do is qualify for your conference tournament. So. If everybody makes it, it doesn't matter what your record is. You can lose every conference game and then go on a magical run for the conference tournament and then go dancing in March. That's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. But the conference tournaments, they are the prelude. They get everybody excited for the big dance. I get it, but I do not believe that's where you should be earning your automatic bid, man. I think it's too much pressure after you having a great season, especially for mid-majors. You're all right if you in the Big 10, the Big 12, the SEC. You can finish 4th, 5th, 6th in those conferences and go dancing.
Yeah.
But I can finish first in my conference, win my conference in the regular season.
28-2.
and then lose
to the 8th seed.
And then lose on a buzzer beater from half court in the conference. No, in the conference tournament championship. Lose on a buzzer beater. And you feel like all that you've accomplished was for nothing. All that you just went through was for nothing. Because of one moment, nah, man, that ain't fair.
That's why they call it the madness.
Listen, if you defeat it, and you go undefeated in your conference championship, man, nah, get out of here, bro. Nah,
it's never happened.
I mean, y'all been slacking.
The door is open. But the door is open.
Anything is possible.
We seen a 16 seed upset on 1 seed finally.
Yes.
So I never thought that would happen.
And
ever.
see that 15 seed run to the Elite Eight. That was wow.
So that's why I said that's why I do believe because it's about how you're.
I know because Gank was on the Gank and Dre was on the team. I know.
Yeah. I remember that too. That's why I remember that as well.
Yes, was smacking everybody all year long. But anyway,
and a few years at Morgan.
It was
I seen in the conference and we're losing the semis too. But enough MEAC talk.
Yeah. So, I caught the game last night. Y'all watched the game last night?
Yeah. You're talking about the Boston, the Boston Miami game, right?
Yeah, the Boston Miami.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see that coming. Didn't see that coming. And then
we being honest.
You did?
Heck no, I ain't see that thing coming. Being honest. I didn't say I did, but I didn't.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him smacking him like that, and then I didn't see them holding on to a double-digit lead for as long as they did. Once the news that Jimmy was not coming back, once I heard Jimmy wasn't coming back, I was like,
"Yeah, so
they get ready. This might be a wrap.
So
this might be a wrap." And then when Marcus Smart had his Paul Pierce moment, I was like, "Oh man, the leprechaun is back. The leprechaun is back." But like you said,
bam.
Listen. I texted you last night when we was talking about it. It gave me hope, and it makes me wonder, right? Like, Bam is doing this to them. If Joel Embiid was healthy, like Bam out here just cooking. He went off on everybody that was on the Boston Celtics. Equal opportunity. He didn't care who was on him. Who you put on him? Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, the other big, it didn't matter. He went to work.
But when Bam is on, he's a matchup nightmare.
For certain people, yes.
It's not too many.
It's not too many.
He's an all-star for a reason.
Listen, I only care about one. I
mean,
maybe two. I ain't gonna like we've been doing so long enough to know y'all know who my two teams are, so I only care about two.
Speaking of matchup nightmares,
finals, they ever see each other in the finals?
No, listen. If they ever see each other in the final, I know y'all know who I'm gonna ride with, man.
I don't.
It's gonna be tough. It's not even tough. I'm riding with the
Sixers. He's a Sixer fan.
Okay.
I'm riding with the Sixers.
Okay.
I know he's gonna ride. I know he's gonna ride with it. But as long as Daryl Morey and James Harden is in Philly, you ain't got that to worry about. So
listen, I don't want to get to Chicago tonight, right tonight, man.
You can get on them all you want, bro. I'm not in the delusions.
Listen, I heard he might be. I heard he might be leaving.
And he can go all he want, man. He can go all he want. It's not like we were winning with him. So,
but listen, anyway. I get it. It was a step, but y'all, listen, y'all stepping stones. I think if he leaves, come to Philly. But if he leaves, I think it push y'all back.
I still think we were no further away from a championship than Philly, though. So,
man, we probably gonna go to the championship next year.
But
we've been hearing that. We've been hearing that for a while. We've been hearing that.
So,
but now,
the Heat had 17 steals last night, which
19.
19 was a franchise record in the playoffs. That was a. So they literally stole game 3.
They literally stole game 3. Literally.
And the Celtics had over 20 some turnovers.
22, 23, I think.
I don't care where you playing at. You can't win like that at all.
But
and they couldn't defend the 3 in the first half, man.
And this is what I would ask then. Do they need a real point guard? Because right now, Marcus Smart is their point guard. And I think Marcus Smart has done a great job this year. He's done a great job at that position. But I think when it matters, he's not a real point guard.
Where are you going to get one from?
I don't know where you're going to get one from, but can you win on that team? Because like we just said, I honestly, I think we said like 2 weeks ago. I said like 2 weeks ago, I thought that Boston could have easily swept this series because I thought that they were that much more talented than Miami. But to your point, if you turn the ball over like you do, because they had a lot of turnovers in game 1. They had 23 turnovers in game 3. That to me speaks to, and it's not just ball. It's not just on Marcus Smart because Jason Tatum turns the ball over a lot too, because he handles the ball. But it goes to my point, like you need a point guard. Miami wins games because they don't turn the ball over. It's not because they are better than you as far as talent wise, because they got like 5, 6 undrafted players on their team, but they won't beat themselves. They're not going to turn the ball over.
For me, this I don't know if Boston needs a point guard because I feel like they're good with what they got, and I feel like somebody, if you're gonna bring in a point guard, it can't be a big name guy. It would have to be like a George Hill type guy.
It's somebody that's going to get the offense.
But I don't know. I don't know if it matters because today's NBA, I'm starting to kind of feel like the leadership and the guys that control the tempo, all of those guys do that themselves. You know, like I don't know if in today's NBA you need somebody that plays that particular position more so. You need somebody to play that particular role.
So I hear what you're saying because
you feel me.
Draymond,
like Draymond,
he's the point guard.
He's not a point guard,
but he's the point guard.
But he's the point guard. Like he controls the tempo. When they need to slow down, he's the guy that's gonna make sure that everybody slowed down. He's the guy that's gonna make sure everybody is where he's quarterbacking the team. You know what I mean? And I don't believe Boston has that on the floor. I don't believe they have that coach on the floor because there are times where Jason Tatum doesn't touch the ball. I feel like there's too many possessions where Jaylen Brown goes one-on-one. I feel like there's too many possessions where Marcus Smart feels like he's a scorer. So, yes, I do feel like they need somebody to take on that role, but I don't necessarily think they need somebody to play that particular position.
I got you. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't think they need, like you said, I don't think they need, because I think basketball is positionless now anyway. You know what I mean? So, but I do think that they need a leader on the floor that's going to get everybody.
You taking my points.
Go ahead. No, that's why I
want to say it before you say it.
Go ahead.
It has become positionless. So I think that with Marcus Smart being the defender that he is, you want him on the floor at all times. As you can. And I mean, he played the 2-guard at Oklahoma State. So, I mean, he was a scorer then. So he has that mentality. I think that he just adapted when he got to the NBA to make his career a lot longer. That I think I would be better as a defender versus trying to be a scorer. But he has it in him, as you can see some moments, but in some moments it's like, bruh, you need to hand that ball off to Jalen or Jason over there. So, and I think those are the moments that are key in the game. I mean, what was it? The joint when they were playing the Bucks. and he went in and didn't pass it. And Drew Holiday blocked the shot. It ended the game. I mean, moments like that, I'm like, you need to have it either in Tatum or Brown's hands in those late situations. Not to knock you whatsoever, but bruh, these two are the franchise.
Yeah. And I think this is his first year where they say, okay, you are our guy.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he learned on the fly. But I think, again, Boston, because they're super talented, the only way, I'm not going to say the only way that people beat them, but the only way Miami, I think, can beat them is if Miami turns you over. We seen it game 2. Boston turned the ball over. They blew them out.
Mm-hmm.
2 other games, y'all turn the ball over, y'all get blown out. Like, so to me, that goes to, and again, this doesn't have to be a point guard, but it goes to some kind of leader that says, okay, we need to calm down. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get each other in our. We're gonna get you and your sets, and we're gonna make sure that JT touch the ball on every possession.
It's still possible for them to win 3 straight. I'm still sticking with my 6.
Nah, it ain't possible for them to win 3 straight.
Watch. Nah.
Y'all just listen.
Without Jimmy, I believe so.
I can say without Jimmy, yes. But Jimmy said he playing. Listen, and it wasn't just Jimmy. Tyler Hero didn't play second half. So y'all lost without Jimmy and without Tyler Hero. Jimmy had 8 points. Tyler Hero had 8 points.
He played.
He played second half. He played 20 minutes. He played 20 minutes the whole game. Same thing with Jimmy.
Okay. Well, I'm still sticking to my Sixers. I mean Celtics and 6.
I get it. You picked it, so you gotta stick with it.
Yeah.
I think I picked the Heat just because everybody else picked the Celtics.
Yeah, you did. You picked the Heat and I think I picked the Celtics in 5.
Yeah, well that was
quiet.
Yeah, and I said Spoelstra will make adjustments to push it, but I picked Miami.
It's crazy because again we talked about, and I still don't think this. As good as Jimmy's been playing, I still don't think he's a superstar. I know I think you think he is big, but I still don't know if he's a superstar. But it's crazy that he's playing this well, man. Like, and I think the way he's playing right now, I don't think they can win at all. and this is what I'm gonna say, because basketball is about matchups, right? If the Heat play that zone against either one of those teams from out west, bombs away. Like,
but I don't think they have to, because I don't think that either one of those teams out west are so much more bigger than them.
I don't think they're bigger than them.
That they have to go zone.
But it's a mismatch. The only place is probably if they play Dallas, I think they can beat Dallas. But if they play Golden State, it's a mismatch almost everywhere you look, except probably at the 5.
Oh, don't do my man Kevin Looney like
that. Hold on.
Y'all see my man Kevin Looney out here getting.
You said it's a mismatch?
It's a mismatch.
Mismatch though?
Where's another mismatch?
Kevin Looney was out there getting buckets.
Man.
So if you
PJ Tucker, a pretty good defender.
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler's a pretty good defender. Like, these guys are pretty good defenders here now.
They are. They are.
Kyle Lowry's a pretty good defender.
I think they are. However, I think they're pretty good on-ball defenders. I don't think they can stay in front of Steph, but they are on-ball, and they can't stay in front of Jordan Poole either. But they are on-ball defenders. But the way Golden State plays, it's not about on-ball. It's about motion.
Yeah, I understand that, but I still think, again, Eric Spoelstra can coach.
Man, listen. So
Steve Kerr. Yeah, I understand that, and when you have those type of weapons in your defensive minded, I'm not saying that they're going to shut down the Warriors or anything like that, but I wouldn't say a mismatch.
I think. Listen, the number one defensive team all year. It's not Boston. It's not Miami. It's Dallas, and they're getting smoked. I ain't saying they're getting smoked, but yeah, they are. They're getting smoked by Golden State. It's just the movement.
Yeah. I get you. But again, we're talking about a guy in Jimmy Butler, dog. We're talking about PJ Tucker, dog. We're talking about Kyle Lowry, dog. Like,
yeah, they dogs.
You're making it seem like this is going to be some cakewalk. Like
I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk.
Like Golden State in 5. Like, but again, you said the same.
I am picking Golden State.
You said the same thing about the Boston series.
But listen,
I'm
gonna
forget about
tell you what happened in the Boston series. Turnovers, right? They keep turning the ball over.
That ain't,
and it's not like, and it's crazy. It's
can't
not
pretend
like
can't pretend Golden State can. You know, we can't.
No, Golden State turn the ball over. Golden State cough it up. They do. They cough it up. But that firepower.
I get you.
I think they had. Listen,
that's
the
just
last
coughed
game,
it up right then.
Last game
he literally just did.
He coughed it up.
That's what he did. That's what he
just had
did.
a turnover. Yo.
They put up 43 in the fourth quarter.
I know, but that was just so much of a coincidence for him to have a turnover at that moment.
Again, Dom, I am not disagreeing at the firepower that Golden State. I will pick Golden State against anybody that comes out of the East with you, but I am not going to sit here and say Golden State in like 5.
Listen, I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. But I do.
You just said it was a mismatch.
It is mismatches everywhere.
That sounds like 5 to me, right, Timon?
It is. No, I'm picking
a mismatch.
That sounds close to a sweep.
Tell me about it. Mismatch.
Mismatches everywhere.
Mismatches everywhere except for at the 5.
Except Kevon Looney.
I'm not. Don't
do
my man Looney like that, man. My man Looney had 21, 10 and 8 the other night, man. Don't do my man Looney like that.
No, Kevon Looney balling, but we talking about him versus Bam.
No, I know. I would pick Bam all day. So, but that's not a. So then at the 5, then you got it, man.
Mismatch.
It's not a mismatch.
I don't see mismatches. So I don't see mismatches.
Clay and Jimmy, that's a mismatch.
Okay, I wouldn't say Clay and Jimmy. I would say that's a wash.
Okay, so then that's 2 right there.
That's 2. Okay.
And I'm not gonna say Kyle Lowry is better than Steph, but that's not a wash. I know. Did you hear my words?
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear something.
I would not say that Kyle Lowry is better than Steph Curry.
I know.
But it's not a complete wash.
That's a complete wash. What are we talking about? Complete wash.
One can have 25, the other one can have 17. That's not a wash.
Man, that is a complete wash. What are we talking about?
That's not a complete
wash. He gonna show Kyle Lowry how washed he really is. Like
I think Draymond and PJ, because of what each one of them bring, I think those two
cancel each other out.
Nah. So I think Draymond brings so much more to the table.
Yes, he brings so much more to the table for Golden State. He does a lot more for Golden State. But I think what PJ Tucker does for Miami is just as important.
It is.
For their success as what Draymond does for Golden State. PJ goes hard.
He does go hard.
He goes hard. He creates extra possessions for you. He's going to knock down the corner 3 if you give it to him. What he does for Miami is just as important as for what Draymond does for Golden State. It's different. It's completely different. But it is what's needed.
But it's definitely not missing.
The Bucks could have used PJ Tucker against Boston.
I think PJ out-toughs players or out-hustles teams who don't have hustle guys. I don't think I don't think he out hustles Draymond. Which means to me, I don't think he is as. And maybe in this series, I do.
I think they hot headed. I think they hot headed enough to cancel each other out.
Okay, I can agree with that. I could definitely, and I will say this. I will one up you. I think Draymond Green is way more hot headed than PJ Tucker.
Oh, I won't disagree with that at all.
PJ Tucker knows limits.
Draymond Green shouldn't have finished game 2.
He shouldn't have.
He shouldn't have finished game. He already got. He had got the one. I seen my man cuss the ref out numerous times and never get it after he got the first one.
Listen, I threw Draymond Green out in the second quarter.
And then they teed up my man Finney Smith. like
second quarter, bro. You don't keep talking to me like this.
Yo, for 3 quarters, my man Draymond just did what he wanted for 3 quarters, bro. Listen, it was nothing.
And listen, the only reason they probably throw my man out because it's the Western Conference Finals, and he's Draymond. Like,
yeah, yep.
But all in all, it's not mismatches everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's not. We just broke it down.
But I think we all agreed that unless Dallas pulls off some miracle, this series is over.
Yeah, this series is over.
This series is over.
If Golden State get this game right here, which it looked like they might.
It's definitely a wrap.
Can we at least get to the third quarter before we say that?
No, I'm gonna tell you why I think.
What you mean? I just said if they lose this game, I don't think this game.
Okay. Yeah.
If you said, can we get to the third quarter? No, Dallas need to win this quarter because Golden State in the third quarter. Listen, one thing you know, right? Golden State gonna win every third quarter.
Yeah.
Well, Dallas ain't win this quarter either.
So. If Boston, we talked about if Miami wins.
Mm-hmm.
If Miami wins, you saying that it's mismatches everywhere.
Everywhere. not everywhere. Not everywhere.
I got to tune in my ears on this one. Go ahead.
So if Boston wins, what do you say?
If Boston wins, that's a tough matchup for Golden State.
Okay.
Tough. Because they can switch everything.
Mm-hmm.
They switch everything. I think it still be tougher. I think it'll still be tough for Boston to defend, but it'll be a lot easier in my opinion because when Dallas switches everything now, what they do is they go at Luka or they find a mismatch. If Boston switches everything, and then now you say okay, well, we're just gonna go 1-on-1. I find that it's going to be very hard to try to go 1-on-1 against Boston if you're Golden State. It just is. It's going to be very hard, very difficult for them to go 1-on-1 and say, okay, all right, Boston switching everything. All right, Steph, go get a bucket. Like, I love Steph as my guy. But Boston, bro, they tough. Defensively, they long. I think, honestly, I mean, maybe Al, but Al can move his feet too. Maybe Robert Williams, but he can move his feet too. Like, who do you attack on Boston in the switches? Like, where would Golden State attack? Me personally, I would attack Jaylen Brown because I think he's the weakest defender out of them. But even that's tough.
I was about to say that's saying something. That's saying something. Yeah, I want to see Boston and Golden State. That's the best outcome as far as the series. And the finals would be more competitive. Not taking anything away from Jimmy and the Heat.
He's mine now. Everywhere. He's now.
It ain't everywhere. But I just think that on paper it would look like the Warriors in 5.
Against who?
Against Miami.
Y'all both sipping from the same.
I said on paper. I didn't say that's
what paper do y'all be reading,
bro?
You got
Steph Clay, Andrew Wiggins.
Oh, I forgot about Wiggs. I forgot about Wiggs, but I just think styles make matchups. We talk about that all the time, right? Miami
just
plays
said on paper. I
predominantly.
didn't say
Miami
I
is
felt that
predominantly
way.
a zone team.
I didn't say I felt that way. I just said on paper.
Miami's predominantly a zone team, man. And if they go man to man, they're gonna attack Struce. They're gonna attack Hero. They're gonna attack players.
Can I say my point? I don't think nobody will beat Miami in less than 6 games.
Because they play hard. I got you.
That's just my point.
I got you.
That's my point.
They play hard, and I can see.
But on paper, people would say the outlandish things that Dom said.
But I will say this:
being the matchup mismatch.
But I will say this: they got swept by Giannis last year.
You said they what?
They got swept by Giannis last year.
That's a very good team over there.
And the Warriors is a very good team over there.
I don't think they get swept. I think they.
I don't think Miami gets
swept. But PJ Tucker and Kyle Lowry, this isn't the same exact team.
Kyle Lowry got a hamstring. He won hamstring away though for being out of the league.
Yo, but
he's out of the league.
He was very big in that blowout yesterday.
I agree.
He's a gamer. He's a gamer. I think we get infatuated with Golden State.
That's why I said the names.
I think we get infatuated. But I think you do.
No, it's about matchups, right? If we talk
and
about
again,
college,
you keep saying matchups like Golden State don't got to go down the other end.
They're not the number 3 defense in the league. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to this real quick. I just want to say this point, and I'm gonna say this: is Kyle Lowry running around chasing any of these guys? Like, who does Kyle Lowry? Who does he guard? He got to run around with Golden State. Jimmy got a hurt knee right now. That's why he ain't play. That's why he ain't play in the second half last night. He gonna run around.
Okay, so now you throwing layers onto the mismatches. While ago you was just saying mismatches, bro. Now you throwing layers onto it. Now you peeling back the onion and giving me the layers to it. Now you want to start talking about people banged up. All right, we want to get that, but I'm just talking. I'm taking everybody who they are.
Fully healthy.
Everybody fully healthy. I don't see a lot of mismatches. I don't see. To me, they're letting them play so you can be a little bit more physical right now. I know Dallas has this great defensive rating, but they don't have the individual dogs.
I agree.
That a Miami has. I love Jason Kidd, but he isn't the coach that Eric Spoelstra is. Like, Eric Spoelstra's been here before. Like, I know he coached the LeBron James and the Heatles and everything like that, but he was still the coach, and he continues to do great. I don't see.
He is a great coach. Top 15 coach all time.
I think I'm not saying I'm not gonna pick Miami to win that series against Golden State. I just think Golden State's offensive firepower will be too much over a 7-game series. But I think it goes 7 games.
I don't. Let me ask you a question.
Where Boston, I think it's the complete opposite.
You think they sweep? They destroy Boston?
I'm not gonna say they sweep Boston. I'm not gonna say they sweep Boston. They'll get them out of here in 4 or 5. If it goes 6, I'd be shocked against Boston.
I would be.
Everybody gets 3-point looks against Boston. Everybody, the entire playoffs, everybody's getting 3-point looks against them. Everybody's getting 3-point looks against them. And I don't think Boston can score with Golden State. I think they rely on just 2 people to do majority of the scoring, and you need a Grant Williams to go bananas.
And I was going to say
you need Marcus Smart to go nuts. You also need Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to get you 30 every night, because Golden State, they got too many weapons. I think Miami can spread the offense around and get enough scoring from here, there. I think Boston is too reliant, and Steve Kerr will say, all right, those 2 guys aren't going to beat me. Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, guess what? Y'all going to have to beat us tonight.
But you don't think he's going to do the same thing with with Jimmy and Tyler.
Again, I feel like Bam can get 25.
Go get 25, Bam, and beat me. I need to see it.
I feel like Strus can go and get 25. I feel like Kyle Lowry can go out and get 25.
Listen, bro, this ain't Toronto Kyle Lowry.
All he needs to go out and get is one game. All he needs to go out and have is one crazy game. That's it.
This ain't Toronto Kyle Lowry. He out here looking like I ain't gonna say he looking like James.
I tell you what. Vic looks like he's finding a rhythm there as well. I just feel like we just slighting Miami too much. I feel like we slighting Miami too much, and I feel like Boston is just too reliant on Tatum and Brown, and they're going to run out of gas eventually.
Would you say? Because I would say this: if they play that zone, which is what they predominantly play, they play that zone. That's who they are. I would say. If it goes 7, like you said they are, they would need to come up out of that zone.
I think Eric Spoelstra is a great coach, and I don't think any great coach would play a zone predominantly against those shooters in Golden State.
I would hope not.
I would hope that I would not call a person a great coach, and then they predominantly play zone
because
against Golden State.
These 2 games that they play,
I grant you that. If they play zone against Golden State, yeah, sweat. Fine.
Because listen, the 2 games that they played against them predominantly this year, it looked like bloodbath, both games.
Yeah.
And 2 of them games, well, the last game
that zone came out.
They ain't have Steph. They have Clay. They ain't have Draymond. Jordan Poole went bananas on them. Like, and Miami had their whole team intact.
Yeah. Miami regular. I don't put a lot of stake in the regular season because I don't know like bags 3 out of 5. I don't know coaches. Sometimes coaches throw games in the regular season. Let's just keep it 100. You know what I mean? But if they play zone, sweet.
Bring them brooms up.
Yeah, man, sweet. I won't disagree with that.
I just think. Even still,
I won't disagree with that.
Even still not playing. I think they will want to have to mix it up because even still not playing the zone. Who you putting Max Strus out there?
Absolutely.
They're gonna find a miss. They're gonna go at him every time. They're gonna find that mismatch.
I think Strus again. I think he's a better defender than you give any credit for. The same way people keep saying attack Steph. I think Steph is a much better defender than people give him credit for because defense is not about shutting somebody down. It's not about getting a steal. It's about making somebody work for the bucket. Yeah. Now, if you got to take 10, 11 dribbles and then you finally get to the rim, ooh, good for you.
Yeah,
you worked hard for that basket. I can live with that. It's the 1-2 dribbles and you buy me for a layup. I can't. That's terrible. But I think Strus can play good enough defense 1-on-1 to make Clay, Steph, Jordan, whomever work for the bucket.
Nah, Steph, Jordan. You said Clay. I said okay, yeah, he can play. But listen, they're gonna put him in pick and rolls, and even Kyle Lowry. They're gonna put Kyle Lowry in pick and rolls too. They're gonna put Kyle Lowry in pick and rolls, and they're gonna go at them.
I'm not saying that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are Jordan Poole and Steph, but he's doing a decent job against them now.
He is doing a decent job against.
I'm just saying.
He don't listen. What's his name went for 40 last night, so I don't know how much of a good job he was doing against him. But PJ Tucker is shutting Jason Tatum down, and I think PJ Tucker has better success with bigger wings, faster guards. He struggles.
Yeah, His lot of removing isn't as great as theirs. Yeah,
and again, I do think again, I was basing it strictly on them playing that zone.
Yeah, and I agree with you. If they play zone, man, they get ran out of the gym.
So listen, I don't think it goes 6 if they come out of man, but I think they're gonna see more. They're gonna need to see more Vic. You're gonna need to see more Vic against Golden State.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But Boston, I think Boston's in a good place right now in the Miami series. They still got a chance. To get even at home. I think they're in a good place.
can't turn the ball over.
I think Boston gonna lose in 6. And I'm gonna tell you, I think Miami wins game 4. I think Boston wins game 5, and I think Miami wins game 6.
In
Boston?
Both of them in Boston.
They
get 3 in Boston.
They win 3 in Boston.
I think they get 3 in Boston. Listen, Miami don't give a listen. Biff said last night, Miami don't give a F where they play. They don't give a F. They don't give a F. They don't care.
Nah, they're gonna come in ready to go.
They're gonna come in and do their thing.
They're coming in
no matter what, because they got a bunch of dogs. They don't get listen. We used to this. We used to like being underdogs. All of them, bro. Their highest pick was a 13 overall pick. That's on that team. Their highest pick was a 13 overall pick. That's Bam. All of them used to be underdogs. They don't care, bro. Like,
yeah, I think this is gonna be. I think this series. I picked Miami. I think I picked Miami in like 6. I think I did.
Or 7.
I picked Boston in 5, man. I keep saying.
I'm of course I'm sticking with it, but I think this series will go 7.
If it goes 7, man, they're not gonna win. Well, I'm lying.
I think it goes 7. I think Boston has enough pride with them not to just lay down.
Yeah, I would think that
they're gonna keep fighting, and even this series. Now, if they don't even this series up, yeah, it's over in 5, 6. But if they even this series up, it goes 7.
They're gonna need Time Lord to come back. They're gonna need Robert Williams to come back. They're gonna need him. They're gonna need him because if Bam see Al Horford and what? Listen, whoever the other big is, if you see them again, yo, it was a post. It was a post on Facebook, bro. They said the Air Horfords. Yo, I was hollering. If Bam see them Al Horford, them Air Horfords again.
Because what was it? I think it was him and Tice the majority of the time.
Him and Tice.
Yeah.
They need Robert Williams to come back, or they need a Herculean effort from Grant Williams again.
And I mean, I don't know if you guys seen the injury, man. I didn't think Marcus Smart was coming back.
Yeah,
I don't think so either.
I didn't think he was coming back.
So we'll see what happens, after the adrenaline went away and reality set in on that.
I think they're throbbing.
Yeah, right.
I think Miami is built to play through injuries more than Boston is built to play through injuries. Again, because Miami got dogs, man. That's one thing I will never take away from. They do have dogs,
and their depth is pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
They've got some pretty good depth.
I agree with that.
So I think Miami is a little better than I thought they were all year. I think I kind of disrespected them all year.
Nah, you did. Because listen, if Joel Embiid is healthy in the second series,
he said we ain't talking about none of this.
Right.
Listen,
I understand.
If he played them 2 games, if he played those first 2 games,
I understand. But guess what?
We here now.
We here now. I get it. I'm trying to go. Keep trying to go back, man.
It's interesting though, because matchups, styles, whatever you want to say. Him and James Harden should be a very, very fun duo to watch.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave it. At that.
I'm gonna just say this.
I'll leave it at that.
Since you mentioned my man James Harden,
because I seen his tweet or something. I seen his tweet. He took a
what was
the He took a offensive hiatus.
He took a hiatus, man.
Who took a hiatus?
James Harden. That's what he said. He took an offensive hiatus for 2 years.
And listen,
I don't even know what that means.
It goes back
So with him acknowledging that means that he's gonna come back next year and be the James that we seen.
That's what he said.
Well, what does that mean? That took an offensive hiatus.
But it goes back to me what I said. I just don't think he's been right since that hamstring. I don't think he's gonna say it, but he hasn't been right since that hamstring. That happened in Brooklyn in the playoffs, and this year he's missed time this year because of the hamstring. I don't think he's gonna say it, but
okay.
I think it's the hamstring. I also say this. I also think he underestimates how getting older, you can't just turn it on and off with your weight.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be like, all right, I don't want to play here, so I'm gonna get out of shape. And then when I get to where I'm gonna get to, I'm gonna get back in shape. Are you 32, bro? You can't just be.
Your body don't operate like that no more.
You can't just be like, all right, bro. Like your body not gonna operate the same way it did 5 years ago, James. 3 years ago. It's just not.
And it's also hard to imagine a guy getting older in age, developing new workout habits and diets and lifestyle changes because he likes to party. He likes to go out and have a good time.
Listen, we all have different lifestyle changes as we get older. You know what I mean? But the weight thing, I definitely get.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would have just rather him not said I took an offensive hiatus.
I would just say you injured. Just say you was injured.
Why say anything at all?
Yeah, just say I'm looking forward to coming back strong and ready to go next year. Let's say that.
Just say
because now
injured.
Because I what does that mean? Does that mean you weren't trying to play offense? Is that what does that mean?
Yeah, because that sound real bad.
What does that mean?
This is his quote. I had to pull up. He said, "I've been fatigued for years now. I took an offensive hiatus for the past 2 years to rest. Y'all will see the real James Harden next season." So maybe he was talking about Philly,
being more of a facilitator. That's what it looked like he was trying to do, to be more of a facilitator than a scorer.
And I can agree with that in Brooklyn, because he became more of a facilitator in Brooklyn, and in Philly he did become more of a facilitator. However, in Brooklyn, until you had that hamstring injury, we see your explosiveness. We seen you be able to get past people. In Philly, I don't care which hiatus was, bro. If we being real, if it wasn't the hamstring, if you're not saying that the hamstring wasn't an issue, and you just telling me I took an offensive hiatus, bro, you just not the same player.
You gotta read between the lines.
But that's the thing, though. When I hear like offensive hiatus, what does that mean? Because let's be real, in Brooklyn, bro, you didn't have to carry no heavy load no more.
Well,
you didn't.
His first year he did, because they wasn't there. Remember his first year when he got there, KD wasn't there. He got injured. Kyrie got injured. James was a top 3 MVP player candidate. He finished third in the MVP race because he was carrying that team because they were going. Last year, you didn't have to carry that load, brother.
But it wasn't what he thought.
He said the last 2 years.
Yeah, he said the last 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. The last 2 years, you haven't had to carry the big offensive load anywhere you were at.
And again, like you just said, hold on, James. If we going back to when you first got to Brooklyn, brother, you had to carry a whole load because they were gone. So there was no offensive hiatus. You were putting in work.
And what does that say to Kevin Durant that pitched for him to come to Brooklyn?
I don't get, dude, man. I don't.
Well, he didn't want to come to Brooklyn anyway. That's what he said. That's what James said.
He said what?
He didn't want to come to Brooklyn.
He didn't want to go to Brooklyn.
So how you end up there?
Because Houston wouldn't trade him to Philly.
Yeah, pretty much. They was like, I'm not.
I thought KD lobbied for him to come.
Huh?
KD did lobby for him to come, but that doesn't mean that's where
he wanted to go.
Where he wanted to go.
He wanted to go to Philly.
He wanted to go with Daryl Morey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Daryl Morey gonna make sure he get paid.
And Daryl Morey, and they didn't want to trade Daryl. They didn't want to trade James Harden and Daryl Morey.
Yeah.
And he ended up there in the first place.
Yep, he ended up there anyway.
Yep.
So
wasn't on their dime though.
Nah.
Which was stupid because they could have got more. Well, I don't know if Ben Simmons would have been more, but at this point,
that remains to be seen.
Yeah, like I said, listen, I still believe in Ben. He just got
I do too. But fellas, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Oh man. My final thought is always give 100% in whatever it is that you do. Coming off of what we talked about with James Harden, give 100% in what you do, no matter what. You know what I mean? Because people gonna talk about you regardless. People gonna say stuff about you regardless, whether you're great or you don't look great. So why not? You know what I mean? Put 100% effort into whatever it is that you do, no matter what.
I think that's biblical. I don't know what scripture. I'm being substantive.
I'm with you. Listen, so you said I'm like, man, I gotta think about it. I gotta figure out what scripture it is.
I'm glad the number 6 didn't come up this podcast.
Yeah, listen, not today, not tonight, man.
He's not gonna let it go. He's not gonna let it go.
Nah, I'm just poking, man. I am. Yo, the whisper, he said, no, he's not. I can't even think of a final thought. Final thought.
Kevon Looney, good. That's
yeah. Yep. That was one thing I did want to bring up, yo, because I remember saying his name, and he had 22 rebounds the one night, and then the other night he was hooping. I think he had his career high. I said, yo, man, I got to bring up Looney's name when I talked to the fellas on Sunday, because my man, they tried to say that he was a mismatch. He wasn't needed out there. He's a nobody. No, I'm gassing it. But
they definitely drafted James Wiseman to replace him. Though. Like,
definitely.
They did. But
we can't pretend that.
Here we are.
That didn't happen. We can't pretend that didn't happen.
Here we are. And he's playing big minutes in the playoffs. So shout out to Looney. That's my final thought.
Shout out to Kevon Looney. My final thought. I had a couple, but I'm just gonna stick with this one, and that is, I am playing WNBA fantasy basketball.
Okay.
And it's helping me to learn the players. I'm actually watching games, and they can hoop. The talent.
Pointed that out, bro.
No. No. That's not what I'm saying. Let me finish. The talent from when we were younger, to now is way different, bro. And I'm not disrespecting, the Cynthia Coopers and the Cheryl Swoops and those ladies that paved the way for the women that have the platform that they have now. But these girls' athleticism and their skill set, man, is just at another level, man. I don't understand how people can say that it's not exciting to watch. No, they're not running around dunking and all of that crazy stuff. But if you like good fundamental basketball, you like to watch good, exciting basketball. That Mercury Aces game yesterday was good. Donovan was hooping in the first half, man. She was out there hooping. But the Aces just ran away with that game. Becky Hammond made adjustments. Becky Hammond made adjustments, and they ran away with that game, man. Like, it is, WNBA is a good product if you like basketball. So if you like basketball, the WNBA is a good product. So I just encourage everybody to check out the WNBA, man, when you get an opportunity, man.
Can I have one final thought?
No. I was going to. Oh yeah. President Brittany, man. President Brittany.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. President Brittany, though, and her family.
They about to swap her with an arms dealer. From what I heard.
Let's not get into that.
Okay. That's what I heard.
No.
Final thought.
That is happening.
My final thought. Nobody better ever try to come for Deion Sanders. That's where I leave it. That's where I'll leave it. Nobody better come. Don't matter if you're doing Affleck commercials with him, then his teammate, shoot, maybe even his kids. Don't come for Deion Sanders, bro. That's one that he might hurt your feelings. My man said, "I know where the bag come from. I know where they drop it off. Y'all don't want me to start saying what I need." So yeah, Nick Saban, shut up and stick to the Affleck commercial.
They better stop acting like Prime don't know.
Prime no. Listen,
Prime was a kid that got recruited, and then he was grooming kids and been in their lives as they were getting recruited. He knows everything.
Oh,
yeah, better leave him alone.
The drop off spot ain't changed since Prime been in college, boy.
You better leave him alone. He'll expose a lot of folks. So yeah. But that's our show for this week. Catch us again next week. Same time, 9 p.m. Until then, speak on it.
Peace.
Peace.